wonderful woman all dressed in pink. She said, "Are you a good witch or a bad witch?" Well, I said, "I'm not a witch at all." Well, she said, "Is that the witch?" Pointing at Toto. Well, I said, "No, no, no, that's just my poor little dog." Well, she said she was very confused because the Munchkins had told her that a new witch had landed her house on the Wicked Witch of the East. She said, "There you are, and there's all that's left of the Wicked Witch of the East." Well, I said, "I'm so sorry, it was an accident, I didn't mean to hurt anybody." She told me that I'd saved the Munchkins from her terror. Well, if you please, who are Munchkins? Well, she told me the Munchkins were the little people that lived in this land. She then beckoned for all the Munchkins to come out of their hiding places, and they threw me a big celebration. They told me I'd be in their Hall of Fame forever, and that I was their national hero. Well, in the middle of all of our partying and celebrating, the Wicked Witch of the West appeared. She said, "Who killed my sister? Who killed the Wicked Witch of the East?
Not me.
Was it you?"
Not me.
Well, I said, "I'm so sorry, it was an accident, I didn't mean to hurt anybody." Well, she said, "Ah, look at you, my pretty, you're a dog, too." Then she disappeared in the puff of smoke and flames. Well, I turned to Glenda and said, "How can I get home back to Kansas?" Well, she told me I see the wizard in Emerald City. Well, how on earth do I get there? Well, she told me to follow the Yellow Brick Road, so that is just what I did.
I'm getting ahead of you. I took a shortcut.
Well, I came to a crossroads. I set Toto down. I said, "Toto, which way do you think we should go? Do you think we should go this way? Or do you think we should go this way?" Well, of course, Toto's a dog, so he didn't answer. But I heard a voice behind me, and it said, "Well, that way looks nice, and of course that way looks nice too." I turned around and I said, "Toto, did you just hear that scarecrow talk?" Well, the man replied, "Of course I talked." Well, how can you talk? You're just a scarecrow. Well, he said, "I'm not sure. You see, I haven't got a brain." Well, I said, "How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?" He said, "Well, most people without brains do an awful lot of talking now, don't they?" Well, I said, "So what are you doing just sitting up there if you haven't got a brain?" And he says, "Well, I can't figure out how to get down this stupid pole." Well, I said, "Oh, I can help you down." He said, "Would ya?" So, of course, I helped him down off this pole, and I told him I was on my way to see the wizard. Well, I invited him to come along with me, and he loved the idea, so we were on our way to see the wizard to see if he can get me home and give the scarecrow a brain. But our stomachs started to grumble. We hadn't eaten a thing all day when we came across these beautiful red apple trees. So I reached to go get one when the tree sprung to life and slapped me on my hand. Well, I told him he was very rude for doing so, and he said, "How would you like it if people came and pick things off you all day long?" Well, I suppose I wouldn't like that very much. Well, the scarecrow, from not having a brain, did something very, very smart. He said, "Well, Dorothy, we don't want their apples anyways." The tree said, "Are you saying my apples aren't what they ought to be?" The scarecrow said, "No, no, no. It's just my friend Dorothy over here doesn't like little green orange in her apples." Well, we got what we wanted. The tree started to throw their apples at us. So we picked them up off the ground and put them in my basket. And as I was chasing the last one down a hill, it rolled to the foot of a man made out of tin. It sounded like he was saying something. It sounded like oil can. So I picked up a nearby oil can and I oiled him all up. Well, he said, "Thank you, I've been rested there for ages." I said, "That must have been so sad just sitting there all alone." Well, he said, "No, I can't feel a thing. Not sadness, not happiness, not even anger. I haven't got a heart. I'm all hollow." Well, I told him I was on my way to see the wizard, and I invited him to come along with us. Well, of course, he agreed, and we continued on our way. But the witch was not so pleased. So, with a giant puff of smoke and flames, the Wicked Witch of the West appeared.
I'll get you, my little dog, too.
The witch was so angry that she started throwing fireballs at us. Now, luckily, none of them hit the scarecrow. And the Tin Man, for not having a heart, did something very, very kind. He put out all the fires on the ground with his tin hat. The witch disappeared with a puff of smoke and flames, and we continued on our way.
Curses, curses. Somebody always helps that girl.
You might want to get one right in front where you can see the face better.
Well, as we got deeper and deeper in the forest, we started to grow worried of lions and tigers
And bears, oh
and
my.
bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. lions and tigers and a big scary lion jumped up at a tree and started chasing Toto around like crazy. Well, I couldn't let that happen to my poor Toto, so I picked him up. I went up to the lion and popped him under his nose. Well, to my surprise, he started crying. He said, "Oh, what'd you go and do that for? I didn't even bite him." I said, "No, but you tried to." Well, he told me he didn't have any courage. Well, I felt bad for him, so I told him I was on my way to see the wizard to see if he can send me home. Why don't we see if we can get him some courage? Well, it took some convincing. After all, he was the cowardly lion, but he finally agreed, and we continued on our way. But little did we know, the witch was actually watching us the whole time on her magic crystal ball. She sent flying monkeys to capture me and Toto. They captured us and took us back to her castle, and she told me that if I didn't give her my ruby slippers, she would drown Toto in the river. Well, before I even had a second to think, Toto jumped out of her arms and went to get my friends, and they came back to save me. We were almost out of the castle when her soldiers trapped us in a corner. Then with the giant pot smoke and flames, the Wicked Witch of the West appeared angrier than ever. And this time she only had to throw one fireball, because that one fireball hit the scarecrow, and he started to burn. So what was I to do? I picked up a red mop bucket and I threw it at my friend the scarecrow. Well, yes, most of the water did hit the scarecrow and it put out the fire. But the rest of the water hit the witch. And to my surprise, she started screaming, "I'm melting! Melting! What a world, what a world!" Well, her soldiers thanked us. Turns out she'd been keeping them as slaves. So they let us go, and we finally made it to the Emerald City. So I walked up to the door, and I rang the doorbell. Well, a little old man popped out, and he said, "Can't you read?" Well, read what? He said, "The notice." I'm sorry, what notice? We said, "The notice. Play it that I was on my..." Oh! He realized how very silly he'd been and forgot to put up the notice. So he put up the notice and disappeared back behind the door. It said, "Bell out of order, please knock." So that's just what I did. Well, that same little old man popped out again. He said, "That's more like it. Now stay your business." Well, I told him I was here to see the wizard. He said, "The wizard? No one's ever seen the Great Oz. Not nobody, not know how." Well, I told him Glenda sent me. Well, he said, "Prove it." So I showed him my ruby red slippers, and he said, "Well, bust my buttons. Ain't that a horse of a different color? Come on in." Well, sure enough, there really was a horse of a different color right inside. So I walked up to the cabbie, and I asked him to please take us to see the wizard. He said, "Of course, but you guys are filthy. You need to get cleaned up." So he took us to the wash and brush company, where the lion got a perm and a pretty red bow, the tin man got buffed, and the scarecrow got restuffed. And of course, I got a makeover, and I got my dress ironed. Are you guys ready to see the wizard?
Uh-huh.
Alrighty. Are you sure? Is your hair all done?
It was.
Are your clothes all straightened?
So I came out in the Kansas wind.
No.
Are your clothes all straightened?
Uh-huh.
Alrighty.
I even have all my sunflowers.
You guys have your wishes prepared? Alright.
Uh-oh.
Why, I'm Dorothy Gale, and these are my friends. Glenda sent me here because she said that you could send me home. Well, you know what he told me? He told me to come back tomorrow because he needed time to think about it. Well, I said, "No, I've been through too much today. I want to go home right now." Well, luckily, Toto's a very smart dog. Toto ran across the room and pulled back this curtain, revealing a little old man. Kind at heart, but just a really bad wizard. So he took us all outside to grant our wishes. He gave the scarecrow a THD, which is a doctorate in thinkology. He gave the tin man a heart that actually ticks, and he gave the lion a medal of courage. Well, what about me? I said. I want to go home. Well, he told me they would take me home in his hot air balloon, because he was a Kansas man himself. Well, me, him, and Toto all loaded up the hot air balloon, when suddenly Toto jumped out and started to chase a cat. I couldn't just leave him there, so I went to go get him. But when I turned around, he was already floating away. I said, "Come back, come back!" was so sad. I wanted to be left in arms forever. Instead of making my up here. And she told me that I could already go all along. All I had to do was keep my bills 3 times, and there's no place like home. You guys like to do it with me? There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. When suddenly I appeared in my bed with Auntie Em and Uncle Henry at my bedside. Well, I sprung up in my bed, I gave Auntie Em a big hug, and I said, "Oh, Auntie Em, there is no place like home."
Yay.
So this in here is our memory.